Are you new to City Heroes or a returning player and wanting to know more about the Trolls faction in the game? I'm Controlled Chaos, and in this video we're going to talk about the Troll faction. So first off, I want to give some background about the Trolls. They are a street gang that's addicted to a drug called Superdyne. This drug causes them to mutate, and this mutation grants them super strength and resistance. In return, it turns them into these monstrous looking guys that have green skins, big muscles, a lot like trolls, and some of them even have green horns. But let's go ahead and move on to talking about some of the minions that you will find and enemies you'll find, types you'll find in the Troll faction. First off, you're going to have the Trollkin Brawler, and the Trollkin Brawler uses a revolver and uses melee to attack, just a regular brawl to attack. Then you have the Trollkin Bruiser, and they use a revolver and boxing to attack. After that, you have the Trollkin Buckshot. Because it has buckshot in it, of course, it's going to use shotguns, and they use a super strength jab. Then you have the Trollkin Gunner, and the Trollkin Gunners use submachine guns and the super strength jab. After that, you have the Trollkin Slammer, and the Trollkin Slammers use a revolver and a sledgehammer. Then you have the Trollkin Sluggers, and of course if you watch the other videos, you know when it says slugger, they're going to use a baseball bat, and for the ranged weapon, they have a revolver. If you're finding this information helpful in understanding the trolls, I appreciate you to like that video, share it with others, and if you're not subscribed, to please subscribe to the channel. But let's move on to the lieutenants. The lieutenants, you have the Gardovan, which is, they use super strength, so they have hurl, which they throw a boulder at you that they pull out of the ground. They have a punch, that's a super punch. They have the fast healing, and they have integration from the healing capabilities. Then you have the Jutl, or Jutl, would be pronouncing that wrong, let me know in the comments. But anyways, they use submachine guns and super strength jab. After that, we have a few others here. We have the Super Troll, which is a lieutenant, and they look really buffed. They don't just use the regular human form, but they use the huge body forms that you get in City Heroes, and they have a slighter bluer tint to the skin. They hurl boulders, they have super punch, they have haymaker, foot stomp, and a defensive buff. Then you have the bosses. The bosses consist of Caliban, and Caliban will hurl boulders, have the super punch, have the haymaker, the foot stomp, and invincible. Finally, you have Ogre, and these leaders have those horns I was telling you about. They have the hurl boulder, stone fist, stone mallet, stone spears, and rock armor. So they have 2 ranged attacks using rocks, and then 2 melee attacks using rocks, and then the rock armor for their defense. Now, when you're fighting these guys one-on-one, they're not that hard. The main thing you have to worry about with them is the stunts, because of the super strength, the haymakers, and things like that. You can get stunned, you can get knocked down a lot. And so one-on-one, it's not that big of a deal. It's when you have like 3, 4, or more on you, and they're get you in that loop of being knocked down and stunned like that, it makes it hard for you to fight them off. So if you're playing something like a blaster, you want to do hit and runs and pull one at a time. If you're playing something like a stalker, find the biggest, baddest, Use assassination ability on them, get them down quick. Use your palace to get out when you need to. If you're playing a tank, you really don't have to worry unless you get stunned, because then that's going to turn off all of your toggles and really weaken you. Scrappers, you're probably going to you'll want to be in the fight for a while, but run when you need to. If you're dealing with playing a brute, take that damage, because the longer you're in the battle, the more damage you're going to be outputting. But if you need to walk away when you need to, but not as much as some of the others, except for maybe the tank will outlast you. If you're playing a controller or a dominator, you're going to have an easier time if you spec for long holds and long roots. A lot of accuracies in them. You'll have an easier time because you'll be holding them back, you'll be holding them in place and being able to take them out. And so that's really good. Defenders and corruptors, I really don't play around with that much, so that's a toss up. Now, you may be wondering about the character I'm playing on and wondering, how am I able to do ranged and melee attacks and have defenses? That is the Guardian archetype, which is found on Rebirth, and they're a very fun class to play. This one, you want to be a bit more careful because they're not as defensively strong as the Stalker is, but they can take somewhat of a hit. Now, if you're wanting to know more about the Guardians, which is played in this video, go ahead and check out this next video, which is a guide to the Guardians. Have a great day.